Hello and welcome to the No Bones MMA podcast. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the current Cagend Steel World Champion of the Bantamweight division, Adan Bramhald. How are you doing, Adam? Thank you very much for taking time to come and speak to us today.
Yeah, very good, very good. It's good to be here, to be fair. I'm looking forward to chatting to you.
Yeah, so Adam, you fight out of AVT in Mali. You fought in a few organisations, but predominantly Cagend Steel. And you're currently on an 11-fight win streak. Things are going good at the minute, mate, aren't they?
Yeah. It took a lot of patience. I've had injuries, and I've been around a few countries and stuff like that. But it's just been about building the career and not being an idiot with it. Cagend Steel's been good. The fights abroad and these other organisations have been great. I'm just ready to move up now.
Keep moving on. Like we said, we have got yourself to an 11-fight win streak, and then as recently as this morning, I believe, you received some good news, and some news that's going to take you a bit further on in your career. If you want to share that with us, mate, we'd be much appreciated.
Yeah. I'll. This is the first person I've said this to, so I will say what I can. But yeah, I'll be heading out to Las Vegas. In the hope of winning a 4-fight deal with the UFC. So that'll be on Dana White's Contender series. Win and we're in. This is what we've been waiting for. Yeah. Yes! So that's it, yeah.
We'll be following that, mate, and hopefully you do win and get yourself in there, mate. Yep. That's going to be for a 4-fight deal, you say, yeah?
It's, I say winning, you're in, but it's impress Uncle Dana and you're in.
No, that's it. Yeah, as far as it is, you could still win. That's for sort of format of show for anybody that don't know who's listening. We probably all do, but yeah, format of shows. A lot of people have fights across 10 episodes, I think it is, at series, and you're fighting for a UFC contract. You have that one fight. Even if you win, you don't necessarily get that contract. You have to impress, as Adam says, Uncle Dana, and then that takes you on to your UFC career, which we absolutely wish you all the best.
Certainly do, yeah.
On the very rare occasion, even if you lose it, he takes you in as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, if it's a great fight.
If you're real entertaining and it's a great fight,
I know, and that's what I don't worry about winning and not getting signed. Like I can't see a world where I have, even if we got 15-minute fight and I don't get signed. I'd like to actually think that even if we had a 15-minute fight and I didn't get the decision, it'd be close. And I'd like to think he'd either have me back later on in the series or at least give me a contract, Because that's all I want. All I want to do is show everybody just how entertaining this sport can be and how entertaining I can be.
Yeah, how good you are.
That's it. It's not always been about winning for me. It's always been about I like performing. I like doing stuff I like when I'm fighting. I'm not super focused on just this guy in front of me as much as I am as the atmosphere around me. I like doing things that make people go ooh, I like that reaction from the crowd. I love it.
That's it. Obviously, in anticipation of you coming on to our show today, when we've watched a few fights, and you can see that you are that guy that wants to make a difference, wants to make an impression, that wants to entertain these people that are tuning in to watch.
I want to win the crowd more than anything. Fair enough. You might lose a fight, but you lose a fight and people are thought, shit, that was a good fight. That's what I want.
That's how you can still lose a fight and come out in credit, can't you?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Obviously, I want to win every fight, and I do my best to win every fight.
So, what would you say then? All this hard work over all these years, 11-fight wins, is finally paying off.
Hopefully, get through this, get there and win this fight, which I think I will. And then it's just I get my chance. Then that's like I said, all I wanted was to show the UFC, show Dana White, show the world of MMA, and show the world not of MMA, just people, try and bring people into the sport and just show them how entertaining that I can be.
Yeah,
that's what I chase. I just chase that reaction from the crowd.
Yeah,
that's what you thrive on then.
Yeah, and this is my shot to do it. So
it's a buzz, man, isn't it? It's got to be an absolute buzz when you do something, especially something as as spectacular as knocking another man out. You know what I mean? And then you get that roar of a crowd, and you get that going out there, and you do it in a spectacular fashion, as you say, fighters like yourself do like to do. It's got to be an ultimate buzz, man. The chase of that, it's got to be addictive as hell.
Yeah, I mean, with me, like, I don't actually really feel anything when I actually fight. You know, like, there's no like emotion, there's no nerves, there's no. Honestly, there's not really any excitement. Like, I'm pretty much just like. The way I see it is like it's more of a sport to me than a fight, and I think that helps me because I don't really get too hyped up for anything. Like, I actually struggle, you know, when I'm warming up to get in the zone. For like, it's like the door shuts and like the ref's like, yeah, whatever, and it's like you just give yourself a couple of seconds in the fight and then like, okay, it's just like sparring. And for the most point, I've had people and I'm better than them on the feet, and I get to slowly go through the fight and like pick my way of doing stuff that's entertaining. Even like defending is entertaining if you do it in the right way. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Like moving out of the way and stuff like that. It's like it's not just about swinging at people and knocking people out or whatever. Like, I just love the whole spectacle of putting a performance on for other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, if you get a good round, you do get excited, don't you? After, you know, when the bell rings, because I can't remember who you fought. And for the life of me, honestly, now I can't remember who you fought. But I think it was second round. You had really good round. You literally like you tapped gloves and you walked off. You're like that. I'm fucking full of energy.
What happens with me is like the first round's normally my
feel out round.
Yeah.
Safest or worst, not worst, but safest, definitely safest. And I grow. I'm better. Like there's like a point in most fights where it's like halfway through the second round where I really start getting into the zone. It's like almost like a Thai boxing kind of way of things. Like Thai boxers, they grow into the fight with like each round. For me, that's what it's like. I mean, a lot of it normally is like I'm a lot fitter than my opponent as well. I always get like really like unbelievably fit. And I can always sense a part during the fight. And also, like, with the way my brain works with striking, especially, and MMA, like, I, like, figure out things, patterns and stuff like that. It's like, so normally by the second round, I've got everything, like, downloaded. I see it's like it's downloaded information. And I don't even know I'm doing it, like, and it just, like, kind of happens. I've worked out, like most of the times where I've got good, like, knockdowns and stuff like that, or, you know, the fights that have gone further in, it's always like second, third round. It's never in the first. It's always later on when I've like figured everything out, and my brain just does it.
That's a natural thing.
Weird thing.
Well, the most of fighters, you know, if it's three round fight, a lot of times like second half or late, you know, real late in the second round, they start doing mistakes purely because if they're not sure how they did in first round and the second they think they're losing. They overthink and they start throwing stupid punches and you're the other way around.
Other way around, yeah,
because it's only 3 round fight, isn't it? It's only 3 rounds you have really. So.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it takes me.
Have you fought 5 rounds yet? Or?
No,
I bet somebody like you would be incredible in a 5 round fight.
Yeah, I do.
You know,
we might get there one day. But yeah,
nothing wrong with being self-assured.
I've only fought 5 rounds in like K1 fights and stuff like that. So.
Good. So while we're talking about your fight style, that obviously, as mentioned before, you are out of AVT gym in Morley and Leeds with Danny Mitchell and co. First of all, how did them guys all react to you getting your call up for Contender series, and obviously what sort of impact have they had on getting you to where you are?
Danny and Jay, like, I mean, AVT's, we're kind of in like I have like a separate group, obviously because it's not completely common knowledge yet. Like, I've only spoke to the fighters and stuff like that, which they're all absolutely buzzing about. But Danny and Jay, like, they're just good guys, and they have so much time to, like, Danny's actually made this happen more. Like, don't worry about like the coaching side of anything. Like, obviously Danny's an incredible coach, and he's got me opportunities, and he's got me through. He's improved me massively throughout it. But like, what Danny made the decision to do is say, Adam, I'm gonna half manage you with someone else. Okay. I'm gonna move your management to people that have contacts in America, which is such a selfless thing to do. It's a weird thing because
he could feel I've got a little diamond here in my pocket, and I could have to take that from us and take any credit for Danny as far as he might get in his career. And so
what Danny's done, because he's a selfless guy, and he also,
he's looked at what's best for you.
He's definitely got your best interest at heart, hasn't he?
I remember ages ago, he had like a plan written out for certain fighters, like me, Tom Crosby, a few other people like that were there at the time, and he had like their goals written down and like how, like, you know, different guys had different goals, whatever, what level he could get them to, and like how he was going to do it. He's very good at planning. But what he did with me was he like split my management in half and said, I'm going to co-manage you with someone else because they've got more contacts somewhere else. And so that cuts like what he gets off me for fighting, stuff like that, and it commission goes, whatever, everything he does. And he thought that would be the best way to get me the best opportunity, and it's obviously paid off. And with Danny, like, it's easy to, like, obviously my last fight was September, or maybe August, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was September. And then I was meant to have one in December, and that got called off. And it's like all year, it's been like, right, these opportunities are here. Can we do this, do this? Danny's always said no to certain ones. And he's always been like, this is a good opportunity. We might do this, but we need to make it right. So now we've ended up having all year with no fights. And this is, I mean, it's partially my decision, but Danny's like, if we just wait, if we're just a bit patient, we'll probably get this call up to Contender. I mean, he told me that it was like April they were starting to match it in. So when it got past April, I was kind of like, oh shit, like, have we missed the boat on that?
And you've got nothing booked. So
yeah. And then I was like, well, what I'll do is I'll train for the UFC Manchester card and just hope, because I actually did get asked to fight on the UFC London card a few years ago.
Did you?
Yeah, against Nathaniel Wood, was it?
Yeah, it was Nathaniel Wood. I got asked to fight in that fight. They asked me on a Thursday, so I couldn't have done it. Like,
Yeah, right.
It was after I fought that Bulgarian kid, and like I was fucked. Like from the fight, I was so injured after that fight. Like it gave me nerve damage. Like it was really bad.
How long was that before they got in touch?
Yeah.
How long was that fight before they got in touch asking you to do it?
They asked me on a Thursday.
Okay.
It's a fight on weekend, yeah. It's a fight on Saturday.
It's a fight on Saturday, yeah.
And
I mean, I was like 70 kilo. I probably could have made the weight, but like, it's like your medical stuff. Like, it's
how
a
long
lot
you
of
were
work.
after the fight, the last fight?
That would have been the March.
No, I mean, you know, when they asked you and you said you would, like, you injured and everything, between the fights, where were you? When they asked you to fight in UFC?
No, he wasn't injured.
I was injured.
Oh, was you?
I got injured in the fight in December.
All right, and they asked you in March.
And then got to March, yeah, and I still wasn't right. Because
Oh,
actually,
fuck, you know.
the annoying thing was, it was actually our plan. Like, Danny was like, Adam, we'll see if there's anything coming up. We'll fight him. We'll aim for March as a fight, but we'll have that in mind. And I was meant to get all my medicals done, everything done, just so I could be ready just in case.
Right.
Like, basically do a weight cut for it and have it all like with bloods and scans and all that done. But because I was injured, like I wasn't doing it. And then fucking his opponent pulls out on the Thursday. Hey, Danny, have you got can Adam do this fight? You know, fuck.
What's
you
it like?
were
Quicker
proper injured.
that the process of the medicals and out. Is it a couple
lot.
of days?
Well, I mean, now I know, like, God, it's a lot of shit. Like,
But it's so
fuck me.
frustrating though, isn't it, to you know, for something that you've been
like
working
6
towards to
different
get
things.
into the fucking Champions League of the fucking
That's it, yeah,
MMA
yeah.
world, to get that offer that you don't know if it's ever going to come again. Obviously, you believe in your art of arts and in your own ability that it will come again.
No, that was hard to take.
But
to be
when
fair.
it comes and you have to turn it down, it must be a fucking.
It
tough
was
decision.
really hard to take, actually, because I thought, have we just like completely thrown it away? But it wasn't like I turned it down because I didn't want to do it. It was like,
Possibly it couldn't be done, basically.
yeah,
Not
like
enough time.
I think they assumed that I had all my medicals and that done.
Yeah.
Like you got to have your eyes fully like dilated.
How long do they last, the medicals, then? Like, is it, do they last like for a month or 3 months?
Yeah.
Or, is it, or
I
is
mean,
it
I'm
for a
going
year?
through this at the moment. It's confusing as fuck. Like, it's proper confusing. There's a lot of stuff to go through. Like,
I mean, when you step up into an organisation like UFC, I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a lot more thorough checks and a lot more.
yeah.
there's
And
a
is
lot
that
of
only
things.
with UFC or other organizations as well?
I'm sure bigger the
I think most decent organisations now are registered with like MMA.
Yeah.
And governing bodies.
Safeties, yeah. So, but I think your medicals last a year anyway. So if you get them done, you can last a year.
Right, okay.
I think it's calendar year in America. So, a bit of a bollock drop on this one, but
Right.
Well, you get to go to Vegas again, mate. Won't you?
Yeah.
You get to go back.
that's it. Yeah.
Everybody likes a little trip to Vegas, don't they? They do. I mean, we'll have a little talk about your background and that. I don't know if you're from Doncaster. Your dad were a boxer.
Yep, it was. Yeah.
And all that. A very active one. He held held some records. Cheers, mate. held some records in that back in day, innit?
Yeah, I think at one point he had the most fights as a professional boxer.
Excellent.
And then he had the record for like the highest paid, I want to say like 4-2s or something like that.
All right.
Oh, he was ridiculous. He'd just go to fights and like take his gummy with him, and his manager would be like, right, come here, Dean, someone's not here. And then he'd be
strap me up, man, I'm getting in.
Yeah, and then he'd be like, actually, no, I don't think they're offering enough money. And he'd go back and he'd be like, yeah, what? Dad would be like, no, do it, because they want the money or whatever. And then he'd be like, no, we'll hold out. And then like he'd just wait a few more fights and he'd come back. I was like, okay. They'd be like, okay, yeah.
It's a very wise man, he does.
Well, no, manager were. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, go.
So you grew up in a sort of household where combat sports and that were always prevalent,
yes and no. My mum always did her very best to keep it away from me.
Mm-hmm.
She never allowed me to box at all.
Well, that sort of, was she saying to a certain age, did she want to keep it away from you as you were a toddler sort of thing growing up as a young, or did she say you can do it when you're 18 sort of thing?
I didn't start training until I was 17.
So you said, really, wow.
I did a bit of boxing with my dad and that. I kind of always wanted to. So I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because then you never know, I might have gone into boxing and just been average, do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Yeah, she never wanted, because she was like, she used to go to his fights and stuff like that. She still now, like, she, if I take my wraps, she likes wrapping my wraps up, because she used to do it with my dad. It's really weird. Like,
all right, okay.
Which is good, because I fucking hate doing it, honestly. Like, I'm so clumsy, like, I'll just drop it. Like you get to the end of wrapping your bandages up, and then you just drop it. I drop it every time. Like, it's, but yeah, she never wanted me to do any boxing or anything like that. I didn't start, it was just like a friend, like, a good friend of mine, he was like, why don't you just come with me to MMA? He'd been training about a year and he was good. And he just took me with him. And I was kind of one of them, like, because MMA is like...
What sort of age were you then when you started?
I was 17, so I wasn't young.
So
compared to nowadays, I was probably young like back then. I obviously.
So you pretty much went straight into MMA. You didn't start with anything else.
Yes. So I went into MMA, and then after about 8-10 months, I started Thai boxing separately, like a completely full Muay Thai gym. Mm-hmm. That's what I started doing. So
yeah,
I always felt like that was one of the best decisions that I ever made. Well, I mean, someone asked me to go. I think he did John Pop, my Muay Thai coach. I think he did like a seminar at our gym, and it was like. Then I just started going to train with him in Leeds. I like literally spent like every penny I had. I just like, I'm gonna go to Leeds and train with John Pop. I'd do like 2 1-to-1 lessons with him, and then another day I'd go to like the sparring class, spar with all his guys. He had really good guys.
But you know, when you have an MMA fight, which most of yours are anyway, don't you have to adjust a little bit, because you can't really stand as a Muay Thai fighter in
no, you can't.
Style,
but you have to adapt it. But I never fought Muay Thai because I started MMA as one thing.
So you just trained then?
I just trained alongside the Thai boxing, but John Paul was actually, to say he was actually a Thai, you know, he's from Thailand. He never he never had me doing the slow, steady, bouncing on 2 legs Thai stuff. He always actually evolved with me, like to make this style, and he still does it now. Like,
right, okay.
He'll never try and make me like a traditional Thai.
Traditional, yeah, because traditional is a square stand, isn't it? And
I'll do like all my strike. I don't train as much striking nowadays, to be fair, because I feel like I've maxed out with that. Sometimes it depends who I'm competing against. I'll go there and I'll spar with his guys, because if I find a guy that's good on the feet, I'll spar with the Thai boxers just to get that kind of thing. But there is a massive difference. I mean, I just think MMA guys lack it. They don't train proper martial arts like Thai boxing or maybe even boxing.
Try to do all this.
They train with MMA coaches. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you have to go outside and learn these martial arts on their own, and then if you're smart enough, you can adapt it to you. Like, when you boys started watching MMA. But you remember when Anderson Silva fought Rich Franklin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you just need the shit out of him.
Yeah.
All he did was took a Thai clinch and he put one leg back. Yeah. And then you can't get double legged, and you've got this gap, and you just clinch. And Rich Franklin had no idea how to do it. He did it twice, didn't he? He did it twice. He didn't fucking go and learn Thai clinch.
Yeah, but nobody had ever done that to Rich Franklin before.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, if you can adapt all the martial arts to one rule set, like jiu-jitsu, shit, but you adapt it to MMA, it's good.
Yeah.
it's not shit, obviously, but like, if you're just like, oh, I'm gonna fight a guy and I'm gonna jump on my back, I'm gonna jump on my back and show him my thighs. You know, what I mean? It's not gonna work, is it? You've got to adapt it to MMA.
Well, we had this conversation before, isn't it? The jiu-jitsu with gi, it doesn't work anywhere really, unless you
I've won my gi
in
about
that
4
room.
times.
Is that more of a tradition type thing with gi though?
It's more ceremonial, I think.
I think it's ego, mate.
Yeah, because it doesn't work anyway in life. In real life fight, it doesn't work at all, isn't it? What if I'm wearing t-shirt? Well, you can't grab my fucking, you know.
Some of it might work, but
I don't think they're training them up for fights in pub, like.
What else are they training for? Self-defense?
If I'm fighting in the pub, I won't want to be on my back.
So when you started Thai training then at like a young age, like 17, 18, I can imagine you just improved if you go in 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Did you solely do that then? Then you went back to MMA?
No, I carried on. I just did 2 or 3 days Thai boxing, and then I'd train at my other gym, which is in Gainsborough. A bloke called Dan Gibbon. He was a really good coach. Like he was very specific on technique. Like everything had to be pinpoint on the technique. So like it was good, and then I was like, so I learned the perfect technique from him, and then went to the Thai boxing, and I kind of like just applied it a lot more. But then it was kind of like sparring with proper Thai, like professional Thai boxers, like world champions, European champions, and that kind of like really upped my Thai boxing game. And then you just have to bring it back to MMA. That's what I mean, like about adapting. You've got to bring it back and have this, you know, compiled list of skills that go together, rather than being good at Thai boxing, being good at jiu-jitsu. Like it's MMA at the end of the day. You've got to change your stance. You've got to change your attacks.
Mental fortitude to be able to do that though. Because I bet some guy, you sound like you're pretty much of a natural doing this stuff. I can't imagine that's for everyone.
Well, I mean, like you see guys that can train as much striking as they want. Like, I don't want to sound like a dick, but I think like it's a lot easier to get really good at. Like, I think there's a lot of physicality in like grappling, like wrestling, especially. Like, if you're like short and stocky, you're going to be good at wrestling. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm naturally quite shit at wrestling. Like, I don't try and be really good at wrestling. I'm more anti-wrestling, but I think striking and Thai boxing is a lot about. Well, not strike, but boxing and striking in general is a lot about A, like rhythm, but 2, like I think this is what separates me, like the ability to see things like striking before they happen, and like making other things happen without, you know, I'll throw a jab and then I'll throw another jab and then I can see exactly how you react to this jab and then I'll throw it in a different way and it'll land. You know, like I can see things like that happening without trying. I don't know if that's some weird form of fucking autism. I don't know.
Well, in wrestling,
that's what it's like. You know,
you have to make gaps. You have to create situation more than react to it, don't you?
Well, like you say, that's what makes the difference. People who can see things coming before it, or like snooker players, for example, who say the best ones play 3 or 4 moves in front. Yeah, chess, snooker, that sort of thing.
The problem with wrestling, you might need it now, don't you? Fuck, you know, if you're going to UFC.
What do you think with the wrestlers? Do you think that you'll be all right with the wrestlers then and the grapplers? Do you think that?
I think my wrestling defense is really good.
Yeah, I was about to say, I bet your takedown defense is good.
I've not been taken down that many times in MMA career.
How often do you train it then? 'Cause you say you don't train your striking so much at the moment because you think you're peaking.
I'll train wrestling once or twice a week, or like once full like normal wrestling session where there's like pins and shit. But I'll mostly use that to defend. It must be exhausting for other people. I think it's really exhausting trying to take someone down. I operate on maximum efficiency. Do you know what I mean? Like if you try and take me down, you fail. You are going to be fucking tired. Like that's the way I work. Like if I'm going to take you down, I'll trip you, but I'll never like try and like pick you up or whatever. Like that's too much energy. Like
up against the cage and
quite
concerned.
We had this conversation a while ago, wasn't it? Do you know, before we used to say, oh, in UFC you need so, and you do, you know, wrestling, good jiu-jitsu and all that. But then we said, if you have really good striking and you have really good defense against somebody takedown defense, it's like
the problem
you can get away with it. The problem is when you miss that one time.
Look at Adam's division in UFC and Sean O'Malley and Aljo Sterling. If you look at that, you know, Aljo Sterling is a top quality grappler, top quality wrestler. He run that division for a while.
Mirab as well.
Sean comes in who's a really good striker with a decent takedown defense, and like you said there, he read what he was going to do and he took him out early, didn't he?
The problem is with MMA and is the fact that strikers isn't the way to win fights. You have to win fights by striking if you're going to knock them out and stuff like that. But like the majority, if you get taken down, that's 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 minutes on your back. Whereas you start on the feet, you need to be scoring points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've spent the majority of my time in MMA literally just striking and defending takedowns. Like, I think my takedown defense is really good. Like I don't get taken down very often at all. And we have guys that are just wrestlers, and I don't get taken down a lot. Like, and even if I do, I work a lot on scrambling and stuff like that.
That's proof for successful,
like,
aren't it? Look at Alex Pereira as well.
Exactly.
He's the same. Isn't he?
Chuck Liddell comes to mind with me. Brilliant striker and one of the best take defense.
Exactly.
Look at Poirier. He's apparently black belt, but if he goes down, he just survives that. Then finds an opening, then gets up, and that's what he does. He doesn't try to scramble with them at all.
Yeah, so like most of my game is just get back to your feet, and I just assume that I'm better on the feet than everyone. Like that's the way
You've got to think like that.
Yeah, you got to think like that.
But also, like that's what people want to watch. Like you're not gonna drag people into the MMA world. Like you're not gonna drag them into watching the UFC.
By fucking
if they're just fucking cuddling each other, do you know what I mean? Nobody ever. I think I put a post a few months ago, and it's like nobody ever walked into a fight event and said, "Oh fuck me, I can't wait to see him lay on someone." They want to see this fucking. It's like in our DNA. It's blood sport. It's gladiator shit. You know what I mean? Like, people want to see fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, I don't proclaim myself as like a brawler. I like the technical approach to fighting.
Yeah, for sure.
People appreciate wrestling, don't they? But they love striking. That's the difference.
Wrestling's great. It's just when you're on the floor, like not everyone knows what they're doing. They're like, oh, he's getting a right hard.
Quite often, if you get like two wrestlers against each other, though, or two, they'll try and strike, won't they?
You're good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what is happening though. What seems to be happening more and more now in UFC is fucking the crowd are getting impatient with wrestling, aren't they? They seem to be booing immediately.
Yeah, I know. And
do you think it's a different type of fan base as well now?
I think it's annoying. I think that's because more people that aren't lifelong fans of it are coming into it, which I don't like the booing, like because those guys are out there to win. It's mixed martial arts.
Disrespectful.
Those guys are out there to win. If that's what they're good at,
the reason it started all this booing because a lot of fighters, if somebody was not that good on ground, but they were good on kind of defense, and somebody was good at in general on wrestling, even if they knew they couldn't submit them, they took them down just to rest. So they'll stay on top of them for entire round, literally resting. And that's when the crowd is booing, isn't it?
That's why I didn't mind Khabib. I didn't mind him because he did shit when he was on the ground. He'd have you down, but he'd be punching you, he'd be moving around.
It wasn't as dull as
one that springs to mind of recent with Jailton Almeida and Curtis Blades. He tried straight away. Jailton Almeida tried to take him down within seconds, and Blades just elbowed him and he finished him.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, like I say, I don't mind anybody in MMA winning.
Yeah.
But it's just not how I want to be seen. Do you know what I mean? So like win, whatever. I'd rather be the guy that maybe loses, but
it's entertaining.
But that's what makes MMA so great,
rather than the guy that was like, oh, I just got.
That's what makes it so great. There's no fucking rules. You'll see some matchups where you think, wrestler's going to dominate, striker here is just going to take him out. And other ones where you think striker's just going to, wrestler's not going to be able to get near to him because he's going to be able to keep him at reach. He's going to be able to take it down, and that's why we all love MMA, innit? Rather than single discipline sports, and that's what makes it good. And we've got to. We need fighters to stay in the lane and fucking do that. And,
yeah, for sure.
If you're a striker, fucking strike, man. If you're a striker, strike. If you're
I can't wait to shoot a double leg on this fight. Straight in,
dump him on his head,
straight underneath. Yeah, I'm gonna walk out in a gi.
Dullest Contender series opponent.
10-fight contract.
Butt scoop. Butt scoop. From the wall.
One of them that lays on floor. Come on.
Pulling guards.
Yeah, that's it.
Fucking bell rings. Just go on.
We like that. Ching, ching.
Yeah, there's no for that shit. At all. So I mean, let's have a little bit of fun with this UFC simply, right? If you're going into bantamweight division, let's have a look at. Say you get that contract. Say you look at top 15. Obviously, you're not going straight into top 15 or whatever, but you have a look at there. They've got some absolute historic fighters in there. Some legends: Jose Aldo, Henry Cejudo. What sort of place would you be looking to get to? Obviously, all the way to the top, but would you sort of fancy fighting?
Fancy fighting?
Yeah. If you got to
dream
that
matchup.
Dream matchup.
We're at that stage already, yeah.
Why not? Fuck it.
Dana White.
Could be my boss soon. Don't upset him.
I mean, it'd be nice to stand across somebody like Jose Aldo, wouldn't it?
That'd be incredible.
I mean, when I went to Thailand, I actually sparred with quite a lot, like 3 or 4 times. Like it was 2 of them. They were Jose Aldo sparring partners.
Yeah.
Fuck me. they like. I just remember this guy. He looked like Peter Andre, right? And he just fucking wellied my. He was talking in Brazilian to one of the coaches there, and he was just like welling my leg. I was like, I blocked this one, and he kicked the back leg, and I was like, fuck me. I blocked it, and it hurt more than it did taking it, and it fuck me. Aldo is one of my favourite fighters of all time.
I thought he might
I don't know. He's a bit old now.
Yeah,
if there was someone that's
he didn't look old last week, mate. He rolled years back. Did you see him?
Did you see
Yeah,
his
he did.
comeback
He looked
fight?
really,
fresh.
really.
I think my weight. I don't know if he's still my weight, and I don't even know if he's still in the UFC. To be fair, I'm not that clued up. But I always thought one of the best matchups for me would have been TJ Dillashaw. I thought we could have had a right scrap. You know, like he's got a brilliant. His style of striking for MMA is perfect. I think.
Yeah.
Like way better than fighting Dominic Cruz and stuff like that. I thought he was way better than Dominic Cruz because I'm an analyst of striking.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was way better, and I thought I'd love to fight him.
Yeah, he's still in there, I think. He hasn't fought for a bit after he's had
He's still banned on one.
Shoulder injury.
He got banned on that.
Yeah, he had a bad shoulder injury. Yeah.
A bad lack of.
It might be a silly question, like stupid question now, but
the beef starts here.
We were discussing before.
Play this back in a few
We're all
years.
over Twitter later.
Yeah.
What we're saying, TJ?
We're waiting for him in Vegas.
No, we were discussing before. We said, obviously, you're what 5'11", 5'10".
I round it up to 5'10",
Yeah.
I think. I've never.
Sean
been
O'Malley
fully-
is
I do that as well, man.
6'2".
Is he 6'2", Sean O'Malley? For
6'2".
fuck's sake, because I thought that'd be a good fight.
Yeah, we were thinking, how would
I'm
you
fucking
compare
8'7".
to him?
Sean O'Malley's a good idea. I'd like that.
Stylistically, it'd be
Stylistic
great.
wise.
Yeah, stylistically, but
Is
the
he
height.
6'2"?
He
That's a
fucking
tall
is,
man.
He fucking
That
is.
tall.
Is he?
Yeah, I think the guy fought for me.
Double check that. I'm sure he
I
is.
think the guy I
Double
fought for
check
my
that.
first fight were like 6'2".
Was he?
He's definitely 6 foot. He's definitely 6'1", 6'2". He's
How
up
can you be
there,
that tall?
right,
He's
yeah.
just got he's skin and bones.
60 kilos and 6'2". Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, I know that what one I thought of was that's what I thought. I know it's going all the way up to champ and stuff like that, but because it's stylistically, it'd be,
Yeah.
Could be
Because it would
potentially
both.
great.
None of you would try to take each other down, isn't it? It would just be all striking. That's it.
Yeah, he's. That's what I want. I want the matchup like. If they could say, "Oh, who's your matchup?" Like it'd be someone that but like someone that brings out the best in me,
Yeah.
so I can show what I can do and they can do what they want to do. So that's like
That'd be a
that
striker,
might be
wouldn't
a
it?
striker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, you don't want to go straight up against Murat,
Yeah.
for example, a guy who's just going to hold you, take
Yeah,
you
exactly.
down, or Aljo, or
Exactly.
something like that. A guy
Because
who's just
people
gonna
want to see
Corey
entertainment.
Sandhagen
It's
fight
an
if you
entertainer
want.
sport. It's a
Yeah.
spectator sport. Like
He's
they
5'11".
want.
Sorry, O'Malley.
Ah, midget.
Is it?
He's only an inch taller. That's all right.
No.
I'll grow
Is
a
it
bit.
5'11"?
I'll get
Sean
on.
O'Malley's 5'11".
I'll get stretched, and that'll be even then.
Yeah, it would be all right.
A few more sessions at chiropractor, I'll be all right. I'll get that. I'll get that.
So what's your schedule like now, or in general, like your Monday to Friday type thing, your work and
I mean,
training and
it's a little bit more general at the moment because, like for me, it'll be like a 3-month camp for this fight. But like, I mean, I am a busy guy. I have a lot. So like, I'll get up at about 5
Yeah.
and I roll out of bed, go straight to the gym, let dog out, go to the gym, and I'll do like my strength work, conditioning work, or whatever, or run, and then have a sauna, and then from there I'll come back and I'll walk dog. I'll do 3 mile, 4 mile with dog. Then I go to work. I work full time as a jeweler as well.
Jeweler.
Yeah, it's a family
From
business.
all the things. All right.
Yeah, I
okay.
know it's weird. It's actually quite a blessing, to be fair, because I just sit down all day. It's
no,
not
no,
Yeah,
no heavy
relax.
lifting.
that's it. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how these manual workers do it. It's fucking like, and then after that, it's either that's where I do like most of my like skill based stuff. So grappling, sparring,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Where's that at then? Do you split that, or is it?
For the most part, I just go to AVT now, and then I'll have one day where I'll go pads. But I coach as well, so like at the moment, like I'm actually flat out. Like today, I got up, I went to the gym, then I walked the dog, then I had a PT to do, and then I went to work, and then I had another PT, and then I did a session just at the gym what I coach at before the PT, and then I obviously come straight here. It's like, I am busy. I'm like literally it's about, the end of the day I get like, well, I say I get to relax at the end of the day, but normally then I prep my food for the next day. You know what I mean? Like it's busy. I don't mind being busy because then I actually enjoy.
So you're not a paddy, isn't it? You don't, between the fights, you're not gonna fucking start eating KFCs and burgers and shit.
No, the last couple of years I've been.
Yeah, I've written down it, ultimate human.
Well, you can tell that. Anyway, you're not a fight for months at the moment.
Yeah,
you're out there now,
I've gone pretty deep into nutrition and stuff like that the last couple of years. I still enjoy it. Like, I just don't like eat food that's not food as much. I think I had a takeaway a few months ago, and then I had one, like the last one I had that was after my last fight. Like, it just makes me feel like shit. So like, it's kind of like the opposite. Like you go so long without eating certain things.
You understand how bad they make you feel.
Yeah, God, yeah. But like, get to like, if it's hot, like it's been nice weather, hasn't it? So like, get me to Saturday afternoon. Like, so I'll train. Then a Saturday, I'll have like I have my conditioning session in Bradford. Which is like my hardest session of the week, strength and conditioning session.
Right.
And then I go straight from there to, sometimes I go straight from there to, I'll go for the sauna or something like that, or I'll go and I'll teach a PT, and then I'll coach a class, an MMA class, and then after that, I'll have like a bottle of cider, and honestly, it's the sweetest thing. Like, I get like a proper hit off eating fruit because like my palate's like that good now.
Yeah.
Because I've gone that far without eating two things that aren't normal.
Yeah.
Like fruit, fucking like I could get so bad on like honey. I could eat like
honey is bad as fuck. I know that is addictive as fuck.
Oh God, honestly. But like I'm probably like But like I kind of like go to the point like what I enjoy. I don't mind eating. Like get to Saturday, I don't mind. I make like maybe I'll treat myself like I'll get some sourdough, make a nice steak sandwich or something like that. That's really good for me. I love that. I don't mind that. But like I just like getting to the weekend and like relaxing. You know.
Anybody else feel really shit about themselves?
Yeah. See me shrinking inside of it.
You haven't been shrinking for a while, pal.
10 years ago, I would have been proud of something.
My issue with food is more like knowledge that is wrong. That's my only issue with food.
Yeah.
Like, I like beer. Like, I have beer tonight. Like, I love it. I know.
Nothing's wrong to have 1, 2, 3, whatever. But as long as
I know
every
exactly
day.
what beer's gonna do to me.
Yeah.
But like people don't know like that fucking something stupid like I don't know. A piece of raw spinach could be bad for you. And like it's like I just don't like
raw broccoli.
Shit.
Do you know when you see all these nutritionists
raw
they advertise how
mate.
they make raw broccoli salad, and you're looking at things.
It's a good way to get kidney stones.
What the fuck are you doing, you
like,
bitch? Yeah. It's like it's madness to even recommend that because
say like, eggs are bad for you.
How long have you been doing this for then? A couple of years, and how have you?
2 years. I started like after my injury, because I had like severe like. So what happened is I fought this guy. He was a Bulgarian lad, and he was a psychopath basically. And he kicked me, and he gave me nerve damage in the first 15 seconds. I don't know if you've seen that fight, but it was crackers like. Guy, he kicks me out. Yeah, he gave me nerve damage in the first 20 seconds. Yeah, he kicked me on the outside of the knee. It's like what happened to Sean O'Malley. Remember Sean O'Malley went down and he holding his leg.
Out first
That's nerve damage. Yeah, that's you've got a perineal nerve. Yeah, it goes down the side of your knee. It connects to your foot. So it happened to me. I won though, so that makes me better than Sean O'Malley, right?
You're listening, Sean?
He's coming for you.
So like. After that, like my ankle got mashed up from trying to stand on it. It's like the funny bone of your leg. So imagine taking that and then trying to walk.
So your knee ankle joint.
Yeah. So my ankle got really bad, and then I just had severe like tendonitis, and it would not heal. And I kind of like did loads of different things. Then I thought I'm gonna go deep into the diet stuff. And I just focused a lot on basically like the food pyramid that people say to eat is like. Fucking cereals and grains, protein, fat, I just flipped that on its ass, and after a couple of months it went, and then I just rehabbed it, and it went. And I obviously did have help from. I got sponsored by a really good chiropractors and that, and they kind of like aligned me and stuff like that. And like it took like once I did the diet and then worked with them, like it was like a couple of weeks, and I was like, shit.
Yeah,
it really works.
Because
no
there
matter
is
what
no
I was doing, like
swelling.
exercise.
There is no swelling of.
And it was tendonitis; it just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just like a deep spiral into learning nearly every single thing about everything. And just learning that most things are wrong. Like
yeah, but I know what you feel. I kicked this
nutrition
fucking
space.
high in the chin with
you
my
say?
toes, and I fucked my toes up. Did I fuck? No.
But like a lot of it was like metabolically as well. Like I'm way heavier now.
Yeah.
Not way heavier. I'm like 2 kilo heavier than I would have been. But I've got a lot more muscle and I'm a lot leaner. And I find my weight cuts are easier and stuff like that, but from being in a different way. Because like years of like cutting weight, I used to eat something shit like 1,200 calories a day, right? We're talking like for like a lot of the fight camp, like 6 weeks. Something
1,200
like
calories.
Yeah. So
While
basically,
you're your ass off as well.
Exactly. And like that was just like constant for me because like you do that and you get fat as fuck between fights.
Yeah.
And you'd eat shit and like, and I've kind of got to the point myself like now, like if I gain a bit of weight, it's whatever. But like I'm pretty metabolically healthy now. Like, I probably have like 2,500-3,000 calories a day. Maybe not 3, but 2.5. But it's hard to eat a lot of calories when you just eat the food that I eat. You know what I mean? But my energy levels are mint, and it's more about I've repaired that metabolic sort of rate.
So have you felt different in fights as well then?
Do you know? Well, that last fight was the first one I had because I was off for like 2 years with that injury and then waiting for the fight.
But you know, so
when
you started eating healthy, and you immediately felt the difference with the nerve damage.
Like it, because glucose is like what causes inflammation in your joints. You know what I mean? Like I'm not against sugar altogether, or glucose for that, like, or carbs. I know they make my knees a bit.
You gotta know your own body, man. You gotta know your body. You've got
a lot of people are different with other things, like, but like people are like, I don't know why I'm always feel like this, feel like that. It's like you're probably eating something that your body doesn't tolerate. You know what I mean? Probably.
And it's good for you to know exactly what your body needs, and obviously the things that you're doing right because.
Yeah. I feel okay the way I am. I feel good.
Well, that's it. You look good.
I still love being a bit. You know, I still love wavering from everything that I promote and all that, but for me, it's like as long as you know that might be it. I don't give a shit.
And
like,
as long as you're
I
not
love
doing
beer. I
it
know
every
exactly
day,
what beer does to me.
Yeah.
You don't know that an egg is good for you. You might think that that's good for you when that's actually not good for you.
Yeah.
Like, first thing most people eat in the morning is a fucking sandwich or something like that. It's probably not good for you. But I don't give a shit as long as it's your own choice.
Yeah.
As long as it's your own choice to know what is good and what isn't good for you, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Like I say,
I don't know how we ended up on that tangent. But.
No, it's fine. No.
No, it's all good, man.
You're a fighter. You know, diet is important because nobody actually knows how guys diet. Yeah.
Like I say, you're obviously doing the right thing, mate, because it's got you on this 11-fight win streak. It's got you as a champion, and it's got you on Dana White's Contender series coming up this summertime.
I was going to touch on that, mate.
It's like you can't complain, can you? You know what I mean? This is where we're going.
If you look at some guys from Dana White's Contender series who've actually gone through that process, we've obviously got Sugar Sean O'Malley, so watch your ass, Sugar. Joe Pfeiffer, Jailton Almeida, Jack Della Maddalena, and Jamal Hill. There's been some
big names,
top
champions,
guys
former
going.
champions.
I think recently as well, it's been a really
that,
good.
all those guys are from there's more as well. There's more to mention, but
alumni
from
from
2017, so it's not
alumni from Contender series seems to do a lot more than Tough series.
Yeah,
to be fair.
I feel that as well.
Yeah.
So it's a brilliant platform for you, mate.
It is
I know, and I mean recently our English guys haven't. Who was the last English guy to go through it? Was it?
Mick Parkin.
Parkin. Like we've had brilliant fighters like George Hardwick and Jack Cartwright. I mean Jack Cartwright, I can't believe he didn't get through it because I think I always thought of him as one of like the target for the country. For me would be like if I can be as good as him, like I think have a great show in UFC. I thought he was really good. Yeah. And George Hardwick's great. And they've kind of like not. I hope they get their
another shot basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mick's doing all right though, and he went through that, and he's knocking on the door of a ranking now. He's agreed to speak to us a bit. But
That's it.
Answer your phone, Mick.
We'll have Mick on in future. He has agreed at some point. We're just trying to get it sorted.
Isn't he? He's 3 for 3 now.
3-0 in UFC so far. Yeah.
He's got an handy training partner in Tom Aspinall.
He's pretty good. Like,
he's
all right. Isn't he?
He's not bad in Tom.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of want to break that mold with the English guys, because we kind of like get to the point we fight Americans.
Do you think they get overlooked though a bit?
English guys?
Yeah.
We get overlooked, yeah. Because
sure.
Listen, it's coming though, man, isn't it? We've got 2 champions now. One's an interim, obviously, but he's coming. We're getting better. We've got Leon.
Even like slightly lower down level, I think they get overlooked.
Mokayev's got to have next
country,
shot.
aren't we?
Yeah.
Listen, Mo's got to have next shot at that flyweight title. I think English guys are coming, yeah. Mokayev, man. Yeah.
What's he ranked now?
He's about 6, isn't he, or something like that. But I think he's going to get next shot against Pantoja. I really do think it'll be his go next.
Yeah, so training down at AVT, there's some. I mean, we've interviewed a few of those guys down here. Some really impressive guys. Oscar, Robbie, there's Malik down there, and a few other guys. It's quite an high level, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been going through, I want to say, like a transition the last year or two. We have got some good guys coming. I mean, like you mentioned Malik, like that's one guy that I do believe he'll be up there. You know, like he is.
Danny said same.
Yeah, Danny did say yeah.
He's only little, you know, but he gives me a decent round. You know, he's fucking rapid. You know, he's fast and he's good as well. He's got good technique and his wrestling's good and like everything. And he fights well. Like he transfer. A lot of people are good in the gym. They can't transfer it into the cage. He's just exactly the same. Like he's good. He's really good. And I love him. Like he's just a nice kid.
Brilliant, yeah.
Works really hard, and you know.
Yeah, that's Malik Bashahal or anybody. I was
Yeah.
wondering who we're talking about. Fights
up.
out of AVT. He's got a very promising.
Do you think
career
it's long before he goes? Sorry, Matt. Do you think it's long before he turns pro? Then
I thought he would have been pro this already.
Yeah.
But he ended up with I think he kind of got like a deal with PFL to be like that. I want to say like a mascot.
Not like a poster boy. But
It is a poster boy, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Because obviously they were branching out into like Saudi Arabia.
To Saudi and that. Yeah.
But I thought when he was going there for his first one, I thought that was pro, and they were just having him on as like a proper novice pro.
But he's had one last week before.
A few weeks ago, he had another one.
Yeah.
But surely, once that's sorted, he'll be pro, and then.
He's only young, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's about. I think he's 20. 21 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Malik in there. There's you said there, didn't you? Rico Franco as well.
He's more on
training his hand in bare knuckle.
Oh, Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rico was like the first person that I ever trained with, sort of thing. Not first one I ever trained with, but like we were both at this gym where I said that my old coach who was good with the technique and stuff. And I remember I got there, Rico was like, he'd done boxing before he went, you could tell. But I think he was like 0-2 in MMA, like.
Right.
And I think the first fight I ever went to watch was his first win. Took him to like 2-1. But yeah, he's. You know, if you ever wanted to like, I'm sure there is like, I know there is like a couple of documentaries on him, like, but fuck me, I'd love one to get to the TV, like, and just like talk his story, because that guy, man, like he fought like the majority of like his pro career. He had like a bowel that didn't work. He had like he would just like fucking shitting blood like all the time. Like he just like it's genuine. And even through all that, not even his MMA career, like for his bare knuckle world title when he beat Jimmy Sweeney, I'm pretty sure that was before he'd had his insides removed. And then he come back and he had all that stuff, and he fought him again, and he had like a fucking colostomy bag, like when he fought. He's honestly, he is the poster child for like resilient human. Like he's like a fucking Gainsborough David Goggins. Like he is like
he's into triathlon type stuff as well.
He is, and he gets himself so fit. Only problem is like because of all this stuff, like his immune system's it's a lot of work on his body and that.
Yeah.
But oh my god, like if you could just like take one human and think, fuck me, that guy makes the best out of how. You know, out of his bad situation with his body, like, and he still He's the most relentless human. Like when it comes to training and looking after himself, like it's ridiculous.
What's he like as a guy? Is he a nice guy as well?
It's just it's crazy.
Yeah, he's an idiot. He's honestly such a good lad. Like just sound guy. He just cracks wise and
we're hoping to get him on shortly.
Yeah, mate, it'd be a brilliant guy to get on. Just chat shit.
It's crazy how people who have these sort of things, how they can get over it, the mentality that they've got to get over something like that sets you out to be completely different from everybody else, to have these setbacks. Like I've got a friend I work with who's got a colostomy bag fitted and stuff like that in his late 20s and stuff like that. And I admire fuck it with man for getting over that and just getting on with your life and getting on with stuff and not letting it take over and then achieving things as much as like Rico and that and getting to where he's got to.
Yeah, and this is
crazy,
like the way we need to look at life.
Different
like,
level of
look
mentality.
at what he can do, and like, just it's not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, people are so upset about everything. Like that guy fought for a bare knuckle world title.
Yeah,
which
with
is
a
fucking
shitbag.
unbelievable.
With
Yeah,
a fucking shitbag. You know what I mean? Like.
What do you think of that bare
Under his
knuckle
boxing.
game? Would you fancy that?
Yeah,
No, not at all. Maybe.
It's a brutal fucking game.
It is brutal. And, God, have you been to watch it live?
No, not
You
yet.
fucking hear everything. It's brutal. Like, it is brutal.
The cracks and the slaps and everything.
Yeah. I just find it... I feel like you get guys like Rico who are really good. Or like Jimmy Sweeney, people like that, who are good boxers, like amateur boxers and stuff like that. And then you get people that just go swing at each other. And it's like...
Yeah.
There's levels then, yeah.
There's levels, but
Absolutely.
like because it's bare knuckle, the fight's likely to end when someone either gets wanged in the eye with a knuckle or cut. Yeah, it's not technical to me, but some of them are really. The good guys are really technical, but for me, there's just no longevity in a sport like that. Cuts, like every time you fight, you're probably going to break your hand.
We were talking to Danny as well not so long ago, and he was saying he actually likes the rawness of that.
Yeah, but he does break his hands all the time.
He said on his last fight, he came through. I think he had a bit of a cut when I think his hands were busted up a little bit. But he said he loves the rawness of it. It reminds him of like old style MMA. You know, when it's all like raw and
Danny's come
not
from
no
a
longevity in that
generation
game,
of MMA where he was like that.
Yeah,
from early days. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There is no longevity in it. Like, fair enough. Like that, and I think it suits MMA guys because we're used to small gloves, wide guards sort of thing, parrying rather than that. Whereas like boxing, it's like you can't protect yourself with no gloves.
Yeah.
But you can't do it for very long.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with Thai boxing and MMA gloves. I don't think there's longevity
Yeah, when
in
there's
that.
no step back, it's bang. It's
Thai boxing and MMA gloves, cuts,
It's going to do some damage.
cuts and broken hands.
I'm going to ask you, moving on a little bit, I'm going to ask you about your training as well, you know, with hard sparring.
I'm a big advocate for not sparring hard. I think it's okay, do it every now and then, but like near your fight, you need to know how fit you are. But like most of the fitness comes, like from an MMA point of view, most of your fitness will come from the grappling and the scrambling and stuff like that. For me anyway, because I don't really get tired striking. But hard sparring is such a product of boxing. Do you know what I mean? Like kicking the shit out of each other. Like we need to be. I'd happily be like, I'd go anywhere and speak about how we need to not do that. Yeah. Get sharp, get fit or whatever. But we don't need to be... I mean, like, you're never going to know until you've done hard sparring, but like we need to move away from doing that all the time. Like for me, like I never spar hard at all. If someone annoys me and if someone annoys you sparring, it's egotistical, I think. But if someone does that with me, I'll just hit him in the body. I don't mind. I'm happy to take a step back and look like the guy that's not brawling with somebody to save me and him from losing a few brain cells. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never spar hard.
It wasn't that long ago, like for argument's sake, with UFC or even anyone in MMA, really, that's all it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Notoriously, they used to knock each other out, spark out.
It's not.
How long do they last these guys once that happens? I mean, how many MMA fighters over years? They get one bad knockout and they're never the same.
That's my point. It's not good to come back home after sparring and thinking to yourself, I might have concussion, you know. Then you think, fucking hell, you know, how many of these can you have?
Yeah. Well, like myself, I've never been actually like knocked out.
Yeah.
But like...
Me too.
Me too. Me three.
But like...
Not yet, Matty. Give me that money for that beer or you will, mate.
But like... even if it's not concussions, like it's cumulative. You know what I mean? Like you take these shots, and even if you leave a little headache, it's not like it adds up.
Yeah.
It's funny how they talk about now banning heading of footballs for kids and stuff like that because it damage it does to the heads.
Like football, like for us, like
round compared
not
it to,
for us, but like
to MMA.
Fucking hell! Imagine goalkeeper kicking the ball out of his hands like that. How many times does a centre back head a ball a game or a midfielder head a ball a game?
As well, it hurts when you head it, doesn't it? If you
yeah,
it right,
on top especially. Like,
I
always found when I was playing football,
not as much as a fucking roundhouse.
You'd have one that lands on top of your head, and then it'd come right back to you, and you have to have it again. Like, I always found that when I play football. Like, it'd always be two, it'd never be one.
So yeah, there's a lot of top level MMA fight like Max Holloway, guys like that. I think they're taking that approach as well, aren't they?
Yeah, the only thing
a lot of more and more are saying that now, that the hard sparring should be maybe limited. Maybe
it is something you need to, but like I think like a lot of it stems from boxing and stuff like that, or maybe even like K1 and stuff like that, because you need to. I guess you need to do it, but you don't need to do it every week.
It does come across on a layman's term. I'm sure it's not correct altogether, but it comes across the guys that hard spar are the fucking ones that have got a bit of a screw loose and like, yeah, fuck it, let's get in and the ones that are a bit more smart about the fight and the technical skills and stuff like that are the ones that'll be like, step back a bit, like, no, we don't need to do that. We do this. I don't need to hit you full back to know that I could do if I wanted to, sort of thing. Do you think? Do you think that's the thing? Do you think it's the smarter fighters, or do you think it's?
I think it's the smart fighters. Yeah.
Well, do you improve? Imagine if you two guys in sparring, like argument's sake, heavyweights, and knocking 10 bells out of each other. How much are they improving, really?
Are
they improving technically, or
well, Sean Strickland
probably just cardio.
Strickland's one.
Nate Diaz springs to mind. You know what I mean? All that sort of thing.
Who?
Nate Diaz and that. They spring to mind.
They're fucking idiots.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. They're just idiots. They're just like, let's fucking go.
They're great fighters, but you can see like a disparity between how good they are and how they actually do things, because they're like. They've took too many shots and they've...
that's it, yeah. You can see a disparity in the freaking intelligence between them. Most of the people in the room,
they're brilliant. Like, the brilliant fighters, like Diaz-McGregor fights were the best example of it. So, he only realised what he should start fucking doing after 3 rounds, you know what I mean? And they both like it.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe they should just not be so relaxed. You know? But like, or maybe they should just, like, learn how to, like, it's, I don't know. But for me, like, I always say to the guy, especially the guys that I'm teaching, I'll say, just go as hard as your partner. Mm-hmm. Don't initiate anything. If it's, like with me personally, if somebody goes a bit hard with me, I'll try and look for body shots and stuff like that. But I'll also, like, I'm happy to take a step back and, like, whatever. If they're, like, going way too hard, then it does escalate. Yeah. But it's about, like, being above, like, that ego of...
Would you just rather stop the session rather than trying to get one back in on it?
I'm not that one.
No, not that
also,
I'm not that low on the ego scale. I'm not saying, oh, well, look, we'll stop sparring. No, I'm not doing that.
I didn't mean it out of fear. I meant it was like, well, wait a minute,
but I mean, like, I'd happily, like...
Session.
It's like anything. Like, you can feel with someone, like, if I take a step back and I'm, like, start, like, pouring instead of jabbing, do you know what I mean? Like, they can sort of sense it.
They'll know that you've got,
and that gives them a chance to sort of think, okay, this guy doesn't want to get into a fucking slug with me. It's just training, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then if they start being a prick, then, like, you kind of have to adapt to that.
But you get one of those even today.
Do you get bellends coming in the gym where they're like...
That's why I'm not a big fan of sparring with anybody and everybody. I kind of treat my, I've got to treat my own health seriously. So I'll kind of spar with people that I trust a lot of the time.
Plus, if young guns coming through or whatever, sparring with someone who's on ascendancy such as you are, they might want to make a little name for themselves. I hurt Adan Bramhald and stuff like that.
Maybe.
What about if you go to another gym though? Does that happen if you go?
Well, if I go to somebody else's gym, I'm always as respectful as possible to their fighters, because it's not like I don't have anything to prove. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I know I'm really good on the feet, and I can spar with absolutely anybody. I'm happy to help. Like I say, AVT's in a bit of a been in a bit of a transitional period. So, like, I'm like the senior, probably one or two of the most senior members there. I'm not trying to prove a point to anybody there. I'm happy to have sparring partners that get me sharp and fit.
Yeah.
And I don't need to prove anything to them. But yeah, I don't know, with the sparring thing, I don't
like to keep a small group of like regular guys. Who
because like whatever, if somebody wants to try and not, I'm trying to have longevity in my career, and I'm also trying to get to fights. Like you get a concussion in your fight, that's it, bang, 4 weeks, no headshots. Like you need,
it's a big
especially now I've got our brain scans and stuff like that. Like you can't be.
It's
not worth it.
And it's plus, if you're 30 years old and you still want to be fighting at 38 or 39,
That's it.
you really have to condition yourself, don't you? It's like you can't just be taking headshots every fucking weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't. I'll spar maximum twice a week.
Yeah.
I'll do and like Friday night is our sparring night at AVT, and we'll do stand-up rounds to start. That's like a warm-up, and then we'll tend to do like 5-minute rounds of MMA, and it's chilled.
Well, I've got one for you. Like now we've got to a certain level in your career, and you've been at AVT for how many years? Would you say 10?
I moved to AVT after my second amateur fight, so
So over 10 years.
12 years. Yeah.
So you
Do
basically
you
with
feel
them
like
most of the time.
moving forward, do you think you might need to move to another gym to be able to like up it a little bit within you? I don't mean full time. I mean, do you might need to split it a bit more? I know it's
good question.
Wanker.
No, it's a good question. It's relevant. I think we would get people to spar with me. We'd come.
You bring people in, yeah.
I wouldn't move.
Basically, AVT is the place you want to be. This is
I
your
wouldn't
home.
move. I'm not wired like that. I wouldn't ever leave.
Yeah.
There's a lot of top level fighters in north of England that you can get around to spar.
Yeah, I'd happily
anyway,
spar with people. And Danny's always been great in that respect. Like he's never if I said, "Oh, could I go train with another gym and get some rounds?" and he'd be like, "Yeah, do it." Like he's never like, "Oh, you're inclusive to me, exclusive to me." He's not like that. But I don't know. Like for me, like it'd be more like I'd get people to spar with me, but I have.
I don't think it'd be necessary to.
No,
I don't need to move.
I know what you mean.
And I get all my sparring at my Thai boxing gym for stand up anyway. I get all my MMA rounds in there. For this next fight, we'll look again people in. I haven't watched the guy that I'm fighting. I'm not allowed to say who it is. I haven't watched him yet. We'll try and get some people in that maybe will emulate him. I don't know. I feel like
that's a good
guys that I
Speaking
fight are all.
to you're striking, and you come across pretty confident, and your record's good, your style's good, you're entertaining. But like these levels, isn't there? So
Yeah.
if you've got to bring one or two in, I want like trying to aim at you. Oh yeah, you're going to leave, Danny. I didn't mean it in that
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Really.
okay,
I was just trying to say.
Obviously, you don't know what sort of level you're going to need to get yourself up to, do you? What I mean? You get to a certain level.
Yeah,
you only
maybe
know that's where you are, and then if you
I
move
might
up another
travel a
league,
bit. I might go somewhere and train.
Well, I will ask you as well. Quite a lot of guys have moved to America. I know it's a. If you get through a contract and you all being well, touch wood, everything works out for you. Then you get to like the next level, it's another contract. Then it's like it opens up a new world, doesn't it? I'm not saying forget about AVT. It's a brilliant.
Oh
gym.
yeah, okay.
Nobody's got a bad word to say about Danny or Jim. It's
training around and that.
Yeah.
Probably abroad would be a good shout, but just a little bit, a few weeks.
get on them
Bit of
AVT Thailand
Yeah.
trips, mate. They sound alright.
Yeah, I was meant to go last year actually, but I didn't end up going.
Right, you've been to a few before, haven't you? To Thailand. You've been to a few trips before, no?
I've been to Thailand before. Yeah. I went to train for my pro debut. I went to train there.
Right.
I loved it. Thailand is like
Everyone says the same thing, yeah.
Thailand is like everyone there's nice.
Is it?
Well, all the locals, they don't have much. Like I remember, like I did. I went for 3 weeks, and I had the same guy for pads every day. I just whatever paid, and I gave him like, I think I gave him like 20 quid, like 1,000 baht, something like that. I had left over, and I was like, yeah. At the end of my time, he'd done fucking pads with me every day.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I raised 1,000 baht, however, and he nearly burst into tears, like, oh, like fucking hell, so yeah.
Wow.
And everyone just like they call it Land of Smiles because they're all just happy like to have you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it's warm for a start.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect balance of life. Like you'd just, I'd train like 10 o'clock. I'd train like 3 o'clock, and then I'd have some beers. It was mint. Like,
Plenty of rest,
imagine a
plenty of
life
enjoyment,
better
yeah.
than that. Like, you know.
I've never had that much of a desire to go to Thailand, but after starting, we've been doing these Meet the Fighter series that we're doing here, and we've talked to a few of them that go there.
A lot of people will go
great.
and they'll just like have like it turns into a big bender. Do you know what I mean?
I went
But
with
if you've
my
got
missus
like,
about 10 years ago, and she won't let me go back again. She didn't want to go back either, actually.
They know why, don't
I
you?
suppose there's several sides to Thailand, yes.
Yeah, don't take wood to the forest.
I kind of had the balanced life because I was training every morning. It was all right. The only times it get a bit out of control is like on Saturday night when like you've not got training in the morning. Like, but
Gotta have a day off, man. Yeah, you gotta have a day off.
you boys are from Wakey, so you know.
Yeah, well.
Busy driving for here on a Tuesday.
Like
Never
Pattaya
mind.
out here, mate.
On a fucking Tuesday.
I said it. I texted the boys. It's student night in Wakey tonight. Oh,
No?
No, I think there was a prevalent showing in the theatre.
Yeah.
That's why it's busy.
Can't get parked.
Classy joint is Wakefield.
so I can't say much. I live in bloody Barnsley now. So.
Stocksbridge, are you? Stocksbridge.
No, that's Oscar. He's on the other side.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's
I'm
Oscar,
on,
yeah.
I'm on the Barnsley side of the roundabout. Oscar will tell you he lives in Sheffield, but
You did say that.
He did say that.
Other side. He's on the side of roundabout to me. So
It's
he'll
not
tell you.
Sheffield, it's Barnsley.
What did he say? His in-laws lived in Thailand as well? Oscars.
No, his mom and dad. Yeah, and then he goes selfishly, so they broke up and then moved back in. He goes, so he was a kind
Yeah,
of
now
go back there.
his mum lives up road from me. So I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what tales he's telling.
He's not Thai, is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not cutting that out, mate. That's staying in. Yeah. I'll send Oscar your address as well.
He's got a dodgy nose. I'll break it for him.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about time.
Yeah,
innit?
cool.
Yeah, that's about time, yeah.
Cut that in there.
You've got a bit slid, didn't we?
The No Bones Podcast.